Welcome back for the last part of today. Not the last part because afterwards we have to do the big celebration party for the birthday of Nijs Koen. Unfortunately, Paul Monks from London is ill, and as I told you this morning, he is here. He is in Eindhoven. He is in the hotel, and he hoped that he was feeling better to be able to be here. But he sent us a message that it's not possible for him. So, well, we wish him all the best, and I propose we send him our warm greetings and wish him good recovery, and hopefully he will be able to travel back to London and be here next time. We invite him next time and again. Yeah.
We invited everybody to visit Core Arts in London, and next to Kiva, Core Arts is one of our other very inspiring places. So if people come to London and you ask for Core Arts, Paul Monks, he will be happily inviting you. Receiving.
Or we organize a visit.
We can organize a trip. We've done several times.
Yeah, let's go. Tomorrow.
London is the place to be.
Thank you, dear. Okay, what are we going to do instead? So we are going to combine the last hour we have here in the program. That's to say, I would like to start with a short presentation of what I have learned so far about success factors of recovery environments. Because we have a great example here in Nijs Koen. We heard of other examples in the presentations and the workshops. So what are really the success factors to create such an environment? So I want to briefly describe a number of these success factors, because I think when you want to start something like this in your own place, in your own country, it's good to realize what the key elements are of such a new concept. But there are also a number of issues, there are a number of questions. It's not so easy to create these kind of new initiatives. So, of course, you learn the most of the mistakes you make, and there are always things to solve and to deal with. So, I listed a number of those questions or issues, and probably there are more, and I would like to just discuss together a number of those issues. So, after my introduction, I'm going to ask our keynote speakers to come up here, or we put the chairs here and make kind of a circle, and I'm going to ask first a couple of them about what their experience is with one of those issues, and then we can share questions, have discussion together. So that's the idea. And then we stop maybe in 45 minutes or an hour, depends on our level of energy, of course. And it's all warm here, and outside the sun is shining. But after we close this session, we want to give the opportunity for those involved in the CARE network, the ambassadors in our CARE network, to come together for a short meeting. Maybe here, I don't know.
Yeah,
or maybe over there. Over there. Okay, in that room?
Yes.
Okay, we do it in that room. And everybody who is interested in the CARE network, wants to know more about what we are doing, or wants to be more an active member, more involved, please be welcome. It's an open meeting, so everybody is welcome. So we do that after we have a short break, and then 10 minutes we go there, and you're welcome to join us and to learn more about it. Okay, so that's the proposal for the program. Let's see if this works. Yeah. Okay. Let me see if I can. Can you see it from there? Yes, I stand up here. So the theme of this conference is recovering environments, and recovery, of course, is a strictly personal process. But there's always this close connection to the environment, because how we feel, how we behave, is always connected to the interaction we have with other persons, and those interactions are always in environments. Can be in the street, can be in your house, can be in a facility of a mental health service, or it can be here. So the environment is so important for our well-being, our health, and our process of recovery. So there are of course different terms to talk about this facilitating environment. Sometimes it's called as a social niche, and the social niche means it's social. There are social contexts, and a niche is that it's something special. It's something safe, and you can be yourself there. It's always sometimes called in literature the enabling niche. So enabling will say it enables you to use your talents, to express your feelings, to share stories, and so forth. So it's really supporting. Vesper this morning, are you still there, Vesper?
He's outside.
He's outside. He was talking about community of healing. I always also like that word. So it has healing potential. Healing and recovery are closely connected, of course. And what Derek and other people from Nijskoon emphasized is that it's a community. So it's a community here. When you come to this building, you are a community, you're a community of Nijskoon, but it's also a community in a community. So there is a connection with the neighborhood around here. And this is very different from, let's say, the closed type of communities which also exist, that there's no connection to the outside world. And of course, when you have a psychiatric ward, it's really a closed community, and sometimes it's not even a community. So this community in a community, and maintaining the connections with inside and outside, is probably also something you can emphasize. So also for a long time there's been research about what a healthy environment is, and Peter War, he has done a lot of research about this, and he developed the vitamin model for a healthy environment. And he especially looked at environments where people are working, so enterprises, businesses, and that when is this a healthy workplace. But you can also apply these elements to many other environments, and we use it in the care model as well to look at the quality of environments. And when I look at the place at Nijskoon, you see that all these elements he mentions, and he calls it vitamins you need to be healthy, for your health. You see these elements present in environments like Nijskoon. So it's a safe environment. You feel safe here, very important. You feel that you have influence, you have something to say. It's not something else who decides what's happening here, but you decide it together. So there is what we also call a locus of control. Third element is that's transparent. So and you see it physically. You can see around. There are hardly any hidden corners or places. It's transparent in the way that there is a clear structure. There are a number of traditions, you call them here, which are very clear and are part of the transparency. So you know when you come here what you're up to. At the same time, there is a certain structure. The traditions form a kind of a structure, but structure can also be the things you decide together about how you behave here or not behave. And I like the word of Vesper this morning, or someone else. He followed structureless structure. I like the word. So that's a kind of structure, but at the same time, it's not a structure. So it's something. It's difficult to grasp, but it's there, and you can't do without. I think, but I think that's the challenge, to find, let's say, the balance between how much should we formalize or structure, and what should be really liberal and free, and things just happen like that, and we see what's happening. That's the other part. organic. Thank you, Edo. That's the word. The organic. Yes. The other vitamin Peter Morris is mentioning that there is no pressure, pressure or no extra stress. And of course, some pressure or stress is not bad at all. You need something. Sometimes you need it, you know, to become creative, to work on something, to produce something. But of course, in our society, there is a lot of unhealthy pressure, and people get sick because of this pressure and the expectations of society, and this and do that, so here in these kind of environments, there's no unhealthy pressure. The next vitamin is choice. People have the possibility to choose. They have to can choose when to come here. They can choose what kind of things they do here, or not just be here, participate in doing something with the stones or with the paintings or whatever. And we also see that in other recovery centers. There's a lot of choice, very important. And it has also to do with the influence, of course. And the enabling part is that you have opportunities to use your talents, your skills, or to develop them. So that's maybe also met the opportunity side, but also the learning side. But of course, the environment should provide these kind of opportunities. If this hall is completely empty and nothing is going on here, I don't think it's so attractive anymore. Okay, so I think these vitamins are the basis. If you want to create yourself an environment which creates recovery, then you should include these vitamins. So these are key factors, are very important. But I think you can add a number of things. And what I learned from the presentations, that there are a number of elements, I think, which create even a stronger recovery environment, or an environment which not only healthy but also facilitates the recovery. So that's, for example, anti-stigma, very important. Many people have talked about shame. So this should be an environment when you feel so safe that it's good to express yourself, that you can come forward with your shame, with your fears, etc. And that this is completely accepted. Peer support, of course, very essential element you see everywhere. Peer support. Vesper added two elements, I think. This is the person-first approach you mentioned, so that it's always the individual, the person with his needs, his wishes, how he is, his story, which is coming in the first place. And also this trauma-informed approach is rather new here, I think, but it's important that we know that everybody in his story has some kind of trauma, and that also is often part of the vulnerability. So to take that into account is, I think, also very important. The self-help principles, which already have a very long tradition. The learning opportunities which are provided in different forms, but also the relaxation. So the nice things like singing, doing yoga, mindfulness, Tai Chi, whatever you can think of, dancing, these kind of things, also of course very important. These are all very core elements for well-being for everybody, but if they are added and present in an environment like this, it makes the program rather complete. And art and culture, of course, very nice art and culture. So I think there are a lot of different things you can add and combine, and together you can make your own. You can find your own way of creating this environment, and start with where you are, of course. Start with where you are, and the opportunities you see. Like here 2 years ago there was nothing. 5 years ago a nice school was established, and they started to develop plans, and it was from scratch on. Some people with great ideas. This slide, before I come to the issues, is what is needed for development of these kind of recovery environments. I think it's essential that it's really a bottom-up approach, so that there's nobody at the top thinking, okay, maybe it's a good idea, starting an organization and all kinds of formal things. And no, start with the people, people who believe in the idea. Start with the people who believe in this idea, who believe that recovery is possible, who believe that creating a nice environment is helpful for this. And start then with a small group, and then let it grow and flourish. I think inspiring leadership is very, very important. I think Vesper Moore is a model of an inspiring leader. I see many inspiring leaders here in this room, which I know that in their country they are the motor behind new initiatives, new innovations, and that is so essential. This is so essential. Here, of course, I don't know. You see the painting over here. These two gentlemen on the painting, on the left. Anybody recognize them?
No. Does anyone recognize the picture?
Very frightened.
The handsome man next to it. New York.
People like this. People like here, Kees, Dirk, also Tom, who has created together here nice school in the beginning. So, but we have many other examples here present. But inspiring leadership is so important. And I think the third element is presence. I think the people who start an initiative and are forming a kind of a core group have to invest a lot of time just to be there and being present and showing the ideals and working together with the people bottom up. Furthermore, we heard also that the support of the policy level is also important. You need support, you need basic funding, otherwise you can't start something. The different ways of doing this, of course, but it's important. And here you see the example of the mayor of Helmond, how important the support of the local government is. Also, of course, the support or the acceptance of the neighborhood. Working with the neighbors, overcoming resistance, engaging them in the center, so that it's also a kind of community center for them. So that is also a way of working on it. And what we learned from the research on Nice School, we had just a presentation about it, is great lessons. Stick to your core values. So when you encounter resistance or problems on the way, and there will always be problems. Stick to your core values, but keep believing in those values. Keep supporting each other, and go on, and don't lose courage. I think that's also important. And one last thing before I go to the issues. We also just had a presentation from a new community house in Armenia. And this was very impressive for me. Armenia, a country where many peoples are still in the big institutions, and within the care network with people in Armenia, Lilith and their colleagues, they started the first community house. And the first group of people who lived for more than 15 years in a more or less closed institution without any liberty moved to this house, and they followed up with research. What happened to those people? And you can say that there, of course, there's a huge difference between the environment in this institution and the environment in this community house. People got their own, first from their own room, and before they were in rooms of 10 or 12 people. They had freedom, they could decide about their own property, how to live there. They could go out and work and do things. And the research shows that immediately within 1 or 2 years, the recovery was immense. The quality of life on all the life domains increased incredibly. So you see what a change of environment does. This is so powerful, and research is showing that it is so powerful. There's all the reason to work on these recovery-oriented environments. Thank you. We go to the issues now. What's the time, gentlemen?
5:30.
Okay, okay. So it's interesting if Vesper can join us now.
I shall ask.
Yeah. Because I have a number of issues, and we have to choose, I think, a number of interesting things. Maybe we can ask also to form a front row, and then we ask the keynote speakers and some of the workshop leaders also to come here. So maybe David and Toon.
Toon went home.
Toon went home. Toon went home. Toon went home. Toon went home.
It's with worst.
Okay, then maybe also Lucia and Lilith from. Yeah, because you have experiences in Hungary and who were in other workshops. Maybe also Jana, Ada.
Yeah, Jana and Ada.
And Anna, can you also come from Kazakhstan?
You can do it.
Anna,
I give you
please. Maybe someone from Estonia also. Kuli, Dagmar, Anna.
Zal ik u cellen?
Hmm?
Ik doe u
You sell? Okay. Any other people? I don't have in my mind all the people who had presentations in the workshop, so please come forward if you like to join us. But we are going to make it interactive.
The lamp should move a little bit back.
Vesper, yeah. Okay. Please, Vesper, join us to share your ideas about a number of issues.
Absolutely.
Yes? We had the nice part, now is the ugly part. Okay, I mentioned a number of the issues I see, and then maybe we can choose one or two. And I ask maybe the people here in the front row to pick one. Scholt is also there. Where is he?
So,
Okay, I just summarized. Some of are on the sheet, some of are the wall. Well, about recovery colleges, there's one issue I think, should they be part of the health system, mental health system? Should there be a connection, or should they be completely outside of the system? It's much better to have them outside the formal system. The second, you just think about it, and then we pick one or two to discuss. Second is the degree of what I call formalization or professionalization. You can have it as a very open place, and you can also make it formal. There are also recovery colleges with a very formal structure, with all kinds of courses and diplomas and so forth. And professionalization is also, we have been talking about professionalization with regard to peer support. Are they in fact the new professionals, and should they be paid and so forth, or is that just not good because does it conflict with some basic values, for example? Well, I skipped the third one. Maybe the fourth is also interest. Safety is very important, as we saw, and it requires a certain closeness so that the community is safe enough. If you make it too open, everybody can just come in here and make it just an ordinary community center. What does it mean for the people who are here because they want to work on their recovery? So it's important to have this connection with the community outside, but at the same time, maybe you don't want to be too open or too public. So I think that is an issue. Toon Walravens talked about the inpatient ward of the forensic clinic, and he showed that you can also create it somehow in some kind of recovery environment to a certain extent. He is not here anymore, so maybe, but maybe other wants to talk about it. We also have had in the CARE network, we work along lines social enterprises. We think social enterprises are very good places for people to develop themselves, to get jobs, to be part of society. So the question is a social enterprise always a recovering environment? The other workshop was, for example, the Helpific. They create digital environments, and then the interesting question is, can a recovering environment also be a digital environment? So via social media and Helpific and applications like that. And then how to develop a healthy, inclusive community. So that's of course was the big challenge. I think that you maybe don't need places like this, but that wherever you go in the community, that's of course a big idea. That everybody is working on an equal basis and understanding, and so is it possible with these kind of places to contribute to a more inclusive society? Yeah, that's a big question. Okay, maybe there are other questions which you want to raise. Is there anybody who wants to address one of those issues? Yes, that's one. Yes. You have a mic? Yeah.
You want two?
Take two mics, I don't know. Takes two to tango.
Wow, those are a lot of good points. I'm going to start with the point of education and professionalism first. I think professionalism is often a social construct that we really use, especially given that most healthcare professions are usually developed within academic environments. Peer support is not one of those. I think peer support should have an academic-esque form of curriculum. But I also think that often, as people with lived experience and people with life interruptions, there are certain things that happen as far as education. And I've seen a lot of wonderful peer support workers who have not had the same education as other people in different forms of healthcare profession. So when I think of peer specialists and I think of the credential, you should have an academic course that meets something to a specific degree. I think that there are certain requirements that someone could meet without it necessarily being a bachelor's degree course, but rather something in between a certification course that can be intensive, that can have tools, that can have an exam of some kind, that can have like a maximum score or a minimum score, but simultaneously to make it accessible. Because there are people in our community as well who are of the disability rights community. You know, we think of human experience often and get away from disability, but we want to make trainings and education accessible. I think that's a very important piece. The other piece, I was going to just answer one more, and I think I'm going to answer if a recovery environment can be digital. So I think a recovery environment can be digital. I think one of the key pieces with that is that the individuals involved would have to be people with lived experience who are actively there. I think it cannot be mechanized. So often you'll see that there are support apps or therapeutic apps that are AI, artificial intelligence, or are generated in a specific way, or maybe delayed generic responses. It would have to be folks with lived experience. I think the most engaging thing would be to have several types of options. So maybe an audio option, a comment section. So in case if someone didn't want to speak but they wanted to write, or if they didn't have the ability to speak then they could write, maybe a speech to text for those who can't type, as well as a video type system. So thinking of inclusivity as much as possible. And you could develop a digital recovery environment.
Can I reply to that?
Can you take the microphone?
I would like to reply to the digital environment in healthcare, or mental health care. I don't think it's, like you say, possible to put it in algorithms or artificial intelligence, but I have experience for 6 years on the telephone with solving problems and offering help, and also taking care of people's practical problems around making a living. And it was accessible for everyone. So that also I had to check if people were alive, and then make sure I could get police assistance to enter the house. And we had agreements with people, but we were accessible for everybody. So that meant also then the professional healthcare, mental care people started contacting us for their issues, and we said in some points, no, we don't do that. Like for example, one of their caretakers was a volunteer, and their own volunteer fell out for a long time, which did shopping for somebody. The man opened the front door in his underpants and his shirt and said to the person we sent as a volunteer if the person would like to buy 6 bottles of alcohol for him. And then we said, no, thank you, for ethical reasons we don't do that sort of things. And gave it back to the professional mental health care institution to take care of their own problems, because we didn't want to put people on substances or keep them in a bad environment. And I was also in a lot of test programs, a subject. I tested a machine, a device which went off, and you had to score in the points from 1 to 10 on what level, what are you feeling, what are you doing, what are you thinking, and it went off from the morning till the evening, and it just didn't work. But now it's out, and in every mental hospital they are handing it out. They gave the new fancy design, but it's, yeah.
Okay.
And I have also the experience in the email conversations for about 6 years, and I've noticed that that has a positive turn on people who others had the most problems with. I could handle, but that meant that I would be like from 8:30 in the morning till 10, busy with one person on the phone, making them clear there are 6 other people waiting, and then setting the boundaries and trying to, but also visit the person at the house.
Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you.
If I may.
Anybody wants to respond also to the first point? Yeah?
I wanted
Or
to
you want
respond
to?
regarding ICT technology and Helpivik to touch the workshop we had about Helpivik.
Okay.
But I can do it later.
Yeah. Maybe first, I propose just to go back to the first comment you made about professionalization. You want to react to that?
Yeah.
Yes, I wanted to.
Yes. Jana from Czech Republic.
Hello. I would like to. I would like to maybe. I don't have an answer. Maybe I just bring some more questions, because now we think about this from the position here in Netherlands, in United States, when you say peer work, somehow everybody knows what that means. It is a position which starts to be really highlighted. But I will think about it can be quite different to put this similar question to the countries where there is at present no peer worker as a professional. We deal a lot, we discuss with people who are as a beginners in these positions. They already started in Czech Republic working. Some of them are excellent and do really great work. And I would think about maybe this question is also connected to which environment the person will go, how much peer work at all is developed in that place, if the people themselves are ready to take this role, because I meet people that would be a great peer workers, but at that moment they cannot recognize that they have this ability in themselves, because they are in an environment which doesn't allow them to do so. So I would think also about the countries where it's a different, much different situation. That is a dream to have some peer works, and they just are in the beginning. Because to adapt the same system like in Netherlands or United States, to that you have to do this kind of education and that kind of education, with being not accessible for the people at all. So that's just, I'm adding a new thing to when we think about some requests to education. In which context and where we think about and what kind of expectations to the role it is.
Should be a European initiative.
Maybe. Yeah, that's
Okay, yes, very good. Anybody else who wants to react on this matter of peer workers, peer specialists?
That brings all the other issues as well, the environment.
Yeah.
Which environment is recovery orientated and trauma orientated? I think that's the big issue, is the environment. There's so many different environments. In Holland or in Romania, I've been to Moldova, I've been to the States, Iceland, I don't know where. It's all about the environment. If the environment is good and people feel safe and comfortable, then you can start recovery. If you don't feel safe, if you always feel harmed, there's no harm reduction, then there's no recovery possible. So if the environment is okay, then you can start training people or sending people to course, start self-help groups, things like that. I think the environment and the community, that's your starting point.
Okay.
We have to change the environment. That's our task.
Yeah. Dirk?
Yes. Can I make,
Politicize it.
Yes, maybe you can also tell something about the opinion of Nijs Koen.
I was
Yes.
First, I want to state it's another issue, but with several of our participants, I have an excellent contact without hardly seeing them. I have contact by Facebook Messenger and other digital ways, and they still are participants of Nijs Koen and are still involved. So it's, for some people, the digital way is very safe and pleasant.
Okay.
Other way about what Marley said about the environment, I don't think I agree with point 4. The safety of Nijs Koen is not controlled by controlling the people who come in, because everybody is welcome, regardless what. So here we have a neighbor, I'm glad you're here, from Kyrgyzstan, from everywhere, we don't question anything. The safety is controlled by our traditions, you might say by our culture. We create a safe environment by having good agreements on how we interact with each other. And when that is done right, everybody's welcome, and closeness is never an issue.
I have a question.
Okay, question over there.
Yeah?
Are there no rules?
Not in a specific way rules. We call them traditions. Traditions are a bit broader than rules. Rules is you can do this or you cannot do that. We don't work with that because half or more of our participants would run out if we made rules. But the traditions are broader. Tradition is, for instance, like the welfare of our community is always more important than individual welfare. So, and we discuss it with each other, and we sometimes have, hard discussions about it, and it's much broader than rules. Rules are too restrictive.
And traditions are suggestions. Suggestions.
Difficult language, eh?
Yeah, I'll make it difficult.
Okay.
What about professionalization? What is your question exactly?
How does Nijs Koen think about professionalization?
Well, we are professional in the way that we think that what we do should have a high quality, but we are not professionals, we are all volunteers, and we do not do treatment here, so in this way we have nothing to do with professionalism, but professionalism also means do what you do it very well. In this way you can say we are professional. But we are all peers and we are all volunteers.
But do you have, for example, the idea that in, let's say, 5 years' time there will be here 10 paid peer workers?
We are working toward having jobs for peers here, because that's another step in your recovery. But it doesn't mean that we hire in professionals from outside to control here. That will never happen.
No, of course not. Of course not. Yeah, but there will be kind of, there can be some tension when, for example, you now are all equal. You're not paid. You're all here on a voluntary basis, and certainly there are 5 people here who are paid, and the others not. You mean that can create, of course, tension.
That can be a tension. I don't know. We will deal with that.
Yes. Okay, Remco, if I remember well, from Busje komt zo. Microphone. Okay.
Yeah, I think it's an endless debate, like social work, should it be economic, about finance, peer work, should it be voluntarily, or should it be a paid job because you're investing in someone's health, you're investing your time. Yeah, the utopian thought is that there's no salary but trade of goods and trade of stories, but that's not an option, I think. I think, yeah, peer work also should be valued, and you invest your time, so you should be rewarded for it, I think.
Okay.
But it's more about the quality.
Wait for the quality.
Okay. The question is more about how do you make it testable, the quality of your actions, about the quality of this environment that should be enhancing people's lives. That you need to have some testable quality which you put in your work, and that's what you're talking about.
Yes, and I think the quality very much depends on all the elements which I mentioned.
That quality is not achieved by diplomas or formal education, not always. It supports, but you make it intervision. Yeah. Peer workers should test each other on the quality of what they contribute to the society, to their environment, to the work which you do together.
Yeah.
That should be testable.
Just like professionals.
Yeah, but they have formalized it.
Yes.
We don't need to formalize it. But the procedure, we need to formalize the procedure, I guess.
Okay. Thank you very much. We go to Ada, to the Ada, you want to comment on the basis of the Helpifig experiences, or the digital
yes, I just wanted to
possibilities?
add that in terms of IT solutions for using in supporting people, that we were having a workshop discussing about the project Helpifig, who spread in 7 countries, and Remco was there helping, presenting and also questioning about how to make it successful in Netherlands as well. And it is spread in other countries, and I just want to add about discussion which goes online about safety, about having a body in a community, and everything is going on online. And so far, the participants of the project, which is going on in Ukraine, in Croatia, in Romania, in Netherlands, in where else, Estonia, and so on. So far, we think there is a great potential as well to support people online.
Okay, thank you very much.
I wanted to comment on safety in open environments, coming from an open environment like the Kiva Center. And I actually wanted to answer the question with a short story. So one thing is that at the Kiva Center, we have folks who come in via a van from a different institution. It's from a psychiatric institution that's up the street. It's called the Worcester Recovery Center and Hospital. It's referred to as Worcester State Hospital often. And they bring about 15 to 20 people over to our center 3 days out of the week. And these are people who are in locked facilities, who are heavily medicated, who have treatment teams, who are seen by psychiatrists, and who are constantly monitored. When they come to the Kiva Center, they're not monitored at all. No. At all. And they can leave whenever they want. And then when we get a call from the hospital, we're not watching people. And then they can go find the person if they want to. And that's the truth of the matter. And we had someone come in from that institution, and they felt suicidal when they came to the Kiva Center. And they openly talked about being suicidal, because we're not mandated reporters at the Kiva Center. They shared that experience. They said that they wanted to walk into traffic right in front of the building. And they said, I can only share this because I feel safe enough to share this. And I feel safe enough in this open environment with mutual people to be able to discuss this. And you can call that qualitative data or a story or whatever you would like. But honestly, at the end of the day, that is what the open environments and the culture is really about. I wanted to share that. Thank you.
Let's have a look at the time.
Yes, it's time.
It's time? There's so many interesting things. We make just to give the opportunity to people who want to speak, just a short remark or message.
Yeah, it seems that I'm only one who would like to talk about social enterprise.
Anna, introduce yourself.
I'm Anna Kudiyarova from Kazakhstan. For me, social enterprise is a very good way to go from segregation through integration to social inclusion. Because our guys, as if they were like a fish in the aquarium, but now we send them to the real sea. Yes, it's small sea, but it's a real sea, because they have direct connection with ordinary citizens, with ordinary customers, and they are coping to manage many conflicts, and with normal ordinary employees and with normal ordinary customers. So social enterprise, it's a maybe part of real citizen life in our city. So I would like to recommend everybody in every city to open social enterprise. It can be training cafe, it can be training atelier, it can be training shop, everything, but it's like training sea. So our guys now are in the sea. They are fishing, they are swimming, and we are just helping. Maybe it's like swimming in the real sea, but very close to some instructors.
Thank you. Anna is very successfully creating a chain of cafes throughout Kazakhstan, where a lot of people can work and get a job and fresh fish. Okay, anybody? Ladies, you want to know thing to see? No?
I just saw the case of, in the case of Hungary, we established a help ethic as well, and we see on the results that it's a great opportunity to create a more wider natural support network around the people, and I think it's a great tool for this, ICT-based tool for this, so it's really good.
So many possibilities to create recovery environments, dear friends. Let's celebrate this. We close the session now. For the people who want to attend the short care network meeting, our ambassadors and other people who are interested, we'll start in 15 minutes in that room over there. And for the others, I think when does the big party start?
At 6 o'clock.
6 o'clock sharp.
Yes.
6 o'clock sharp. There will be, I think, sausages.
Yeah, barbecue sausages.
Both ends. Alles had
with 2 ends. Yes.
Okay. Just sing the song once.
Ja, let's sing the song once.
Dirk, alles. Wie geht alles geht voorbij? Alles geht voorbij. Nee, the melody. Just to close this.
Always have to do
There we go.
Here we go.
Oh, you.
Kom dan gewoon hier, jongen. Ik zing het even voor. Okay. Watch carefully. I'm only going to sing this twice. Please join me. Jawohl?
Jawohl.
Alles hat ein Ende, nur die Wurst hat zwei. Jawohl, mein Schatz, es geht vorbei. Alles hat ein Ende, nur die Wurst hat zwei. Told you to, und alles geht vorbei. Ja!
Alles hat ein Ende, nur die Wurst hat zwei. Jawohl, mein Schatz, es geht vorbei. Alles hat ein Ende, nur die Wurst hat zwei. Und alles geht vorbei. Hey.
Écoute-moi bien, Jean-Pierre.